नमस्कार साथियों। आज के हमारे अध्ययन का शीर्षक है जियोलॉजिकल वर्क ऑफ रिवर, यानी कि स्ट्रीम का भूवैज्ञानिक कार्य हम आज के अध्याय में देखेंगे। इसे हम बीएससी पाठ प्रथम के भौतिक भूविज्ञान पेपर के अंतर्गत अध्ययन करते हैं। द टर्म स्ट्रीम इंक्लूड्स द चैनलाइज्ड फ्लो of any size from the smallest brook to a very large river like Ganga. Although the term river and stream are used synonymously, the term river is preferably used to denote a main stream into which several tributaries flow. The geological work of stream is to erode the valleys, transport the material thus eroded, and deposit the same in the lower reaches at favorable sites. अब आता है स्ट्रीम इरोजन। द स्ट्रीम कोज इरोजन इन 4 ways. फर्स्ट, केमिकल एक्शन; सेकेंड, हाइड्रोलिक एक्शन; थर्ड, एब्रेजन; एंड फोर्थ, एट्रिशन. Chemical action. It includes the solvent and chemical action of water on country rocks. The chemical decay works along joints and cracks and thus help in breaking the bedrocks. Hydraulic action. The swiftly flowing water hammers the uneven faces of jointed rocks exposed along its channel and removes the jointed blocks. This process of erosion is called hydraulic action. Third is abrasion. The flowing water uses rock fragments such as pebbles, gravels, and sands as a tool for scratching and grinding the sides and floor of the valley. This process of erosion is called abrasion. Fourth is attrition. It is the breaking of transported materials themselves due to mutual collision. The attrition causes the rock fragments to become more rounded and smaller in size. Next is stream transportation. The amount of solid material transported by a stream is called its load. The stream transports it in 3 ways: in solution, in suspension, in solution like dissolved load, in suspension like suspended load, and along the bottom like bed load. Deposition. The loose rock material transported by stream downstream are deposited where the velocity of flowing water is reduced. The sorting of material takes place automatically as the large and heavier particles settle quickly, while the smaller and lighter ones continue their journey further ahead. The material which a stream deposits as sediment is called alluvium or alluvial deposits. Features of stream erosion. This is potholes. Potholes are the circular and deep holes cut into solid rocks by sand grains and pebbles, swirling in fast eddies. They are commonly found on channel floor. Next is waterfalls. The falling of stream water from a height is called waterfall. Waterfalls occur at places where the stream profile makes a vertical drop. Such a situation is usually found where gently inclined erosion resistant beds overlie the non resistant beds. The softer rocks is eroded fast, while the harder one offers resistance and forms a ledge at a height, from which the stream's water falls down deep into the gorge. When the water falls over the ledge, it erodes the less resistant beds of the cliff. Due to this intercutting, a portion of the upper resistant bed breaks off and the waterfall retains its vertical cliff. Niagara Falls, USA have retreated approximately 11 kilometers upstream since its formation. Next is George. Narrow and deep river valleys which develop in hard rocks are called jaws. Next is meanders. The symmetrical S-shaped loops found in the course of a river are called meanders. Meanders develop in mature rivers. Mature rivers are those which have cut down to an approximately graded profile. In such rivers, side cutting becomes very prominent, which results in the development of meanders. The meanders grow due to deposition of sediment along the slip-off side and erosion at the undercut side. Meanders continually change their position. They move both downstream and to side. Oxbow Lake. Next, the meanders grow by eroding its outer bank and depositing sediments at the inner bank. During this process, the sharpness of the river bands increases progressively and the neck of meander becomes narrow and narrow. Finally, a stage comes when the river cuts through the neck and starts flowing straight, leaving behind its roundabout course. Such left out old meanders which remain filled with stagnant water are called oxbow lakes. Next is entrenched meanders. On many occasions, the land is uplifted. The uplifting of a mature stream would cause it to give up lateral erosion and revert to down cutting. Rivers of this type are said to be rejuvenated. When a meandering river is rejuvenated, it starts down cutting again. As a result, the meandering channel is deepened and the old meanders get entrenched into the bedrock. Such meanders are called entrenched meanders. Next is depositional landforms. Here is alluvial fens. The alluvial material which flows down from mountains accumulate at foothills where the stream enters a plain. The deposition occurs due to abrupt change in the gradient of river valley. Such deposits spread out in the shape of flat fens and are called alluvial fens. Alluvial fens from many adjacent streams along a mountain may merge to form a long wedge of sediment called alluvial aprons. Next is floodplains. During floods, a river overflows its bank and submerges the adjacent low-lying areas where deposition of alluvial material takes place. A wide belt of alluvial plain formed in this way on either side of the stream is called floodplain. Its name is appropriate because the floodplain gets submerged only when a river overflows its bank at a flood stage. Next is natural levees. Natural levees are the lorries which are formed on both sides of a river channel by accumulation of sediment. They tend to confine the flow of river water into its channel between flood stages. In this way, successive floods build up ridges on both sides of a river channel, which are called natural levees. Points bar. In meandering rivers, sediment deposits occur as point bars. The point bars are the crescent-shaped deposits which occurs at inside bands of river channel. Next is deltas. Deltas are deposits built at mouths of streams. The deltas are usually triangular in shape with their apex pointed upstream. When a stream enters an ocean or lake, the currents of flowing water dissipate quickly. This results in the deposition of series of sedimentary layers which make up the delta. The material of most deltas is well sorted and many deltas are uniformly graded. The structures of a delta deposit is shown in figure. It consists mostly of three sets of beds. First is bottom set bed, second is foreset bed, and another is top set bed. Bottom set bed. The thin horizontal beds which overlie the ocean bottom are called bottom set beds. They are mainly composed of fine-grained sediment such as silt and clays. Next is foreset beds. Foreset beds begin to form prior to the accumulation of bottom set beds. These beds are composed of coarse sediment which is dropped almost immediately when a river enters a lake or ocean. The foreset beds appear similar to crossbedding and their angle of slope varies from 12 to 32 degree depending on grain size of material. Next is topset beds. Foreset beds are covered by thin nearly horizontal topset beds. These beds occupy the upper surface of delta. They are composed of a mixture of coarse and fine materials. Major rivers such as Ganga form large deltas thousands of square kilometers in area. On large deltas, the main channel of river divides to form several smaller branches called the distributaries. They discharge water in various paths to the sea. Base level and graded stream. Drainage system. A land area surrounded by divides which contributes water to a river is called drainage basin. Then divide. It is a ridge of high ground which separates two drainage basins. Divides range in size from a ridge separating two small gullies to continental divides, which divide continents into large drainage basins. Then river capture. River capture is a process by which a part of drainage of one river is diverted into another. Due to greater discharge, slope or other factors, the stream on one side of a divide may erode its valley more actively than the stream on the opposite side. Then drainage pattern. Depending upon the rock type or structure, the chief drainage patterns are as follows. First dendritic, second trellis, third rectangular, fourth radial, and fifth is parallel. Dendritic pattern. In dendritic pattern, the stream shows a branching tree-like arrangement. This pattern develops in terrains covered with uniform rock types, such as horizontal sedimentary rocks or massive igneous or metamorphic rocks. Next is trellis pattern. A trellis drainage pattern is one in which major streams are parallel and short tributaries join the main stream at nearly right angle. This type of drainage pattern develops in regions containing folded or tilted strata. Here the main stream develops in strike valleys cut into soft rocks, while tributaries flow down the resistant ridge. Next is rectangular pattern. Differential weathering of faults or joint system in bedrock localize the stream flow, produce a more ordered rectangular drainage. In a rectangular drainage pattern, angular deflection of stream course are apparent. Next is radial pattern. In a radial drainage pattern, stream flow outward in different direction from a central high point. This pattern commonly develops on elevated structures such as volcano or dome. Next is parallel pattern. This type of drainage pattern develops in a terrain containing tilted rock beds and parallel faults. The major stream occupies the fault, while tributaries which are parallel meet the stream approximately at same angle. Next is types of streams. First is consequent stream, second is subsequent streams, third is antecedent streams, or fourth is superimposed streams. These are some important types of streams.